What's up? Wow, it just went live without without me hitting go live. It just did it. Okay, that's new. What's up, everybody? So I was just doing a members only live stream for all the rulers on the different tiers, which was really fun, man. I didn't know who would show up because it was impromptu. All I did was post in the Discord that, hey, members, I'm going to go live first for members, and then I'll do a public live stream. And everybody jumped on, and that was really, really fun, man. Really fun. So if you're not a member yet, a ruler, you should consider it, because we're having a blast over in the Discord, and every video I post has a members-only video. I've already got the next few weeks planned out. All the interviews you're seeing, each one of those have a members-only component. But I just having a lazy Saturday, getting ready to get back into mixing Andy Timmons' record today. We're about halfway through that record that I produced and was recorded here at my studio. Really proud to have worked on that with Andy because I'm such a big fan. So let me see what everybody's saying here in the chat. Hey, what's up, guys? Lots of my friends in here. Do I like Jimmy Bruno? Yeah, that would make a good guess. Right now, I'm keeping it to guys that I personally know. So I'm yet to reach out or cold call anybody that I don't actually know. Luckily, I know a lot of people and a lot of great musicians. So once I exhaust my Rolodex, for lack of a better term, I will start cold calling people. But honestly, guys, I got 30 in the can already. And only going to put out 52 a year, so once a week. And I wonder if you guys have noticed that I've kind of fallen into a rhythm. I've been putting out 3 videos a week. One on Mondays, like the more produced video about a certain topic. One in the middle of the week that I make black and white and call quick and dirty. And then the interview on the weekend. And I kind of like that flow. I see the rulers now jumping in here and spamming our emojis. That's another thing you get if you're a ruler. And actually, guys, I have a whole new batch of emojis coming soon of some of the stuff you've asked for. So that'll be fun. What would I ask Stevie Ray Vaughan if I ever met him? Ooh. Man, that's a really tough question. I'd have a hard time not just like, I have a hard time even speaking in his presence possibly because of what he meant to me and how important he was in my development. I will say from getting to spend time with Tommy Shannon, Chris Layton, and of course Reese Winans as much as I have, I don't want to say I feel like I knew him, but they all just tell the same kind of stuff about what a special person he was. And it makes me feel like I know him. I knew him a little bit. But probably what I'd ask him would be something about how were you able to give so much of yourself to every note? Because that's the thing I hear the most and see the most when I watch him. He gave everything he had to like every note he played. And man, I don't know how you do that and not just run out. Oh, man. Yeah, I see all the rulers. Do I know Jimmy Vaughn? I don't. I've never met Jimmy Vaughn. And I'm a huge Jimmy Vaughn fan, too. Do I have any Jimmy Page licks you like? Ooh. Man, for me, Jimmy is mostly about the writing and the parts. I just love the tunes. I'm curious. My favorite Zeppelin song is still the first That's still, to me, the greatest Zeppelin thing ever. First album. Oh, it's so magical, that tune. What's a good fuzz for me? Oh, well, definitely the Myriad fuzz is a good fuzz for me. But I understand it may not work for everybody. It's a gigging man's fuzz. It's not low volume. So here's nothing. And here's the Myriad fuzz. you can make a fuzz sound good with a telly, you know it will sound good with a Strat. So if you want to really find out if you like a fuzz, try it with a telly. I'm telling you. Yeah. Sorry, was hitting buttons. Am I going to get a G3 switcher? I'm sure I will. I was blown away just like all of you guys seeing that switcher. Really impressive. Dan put a lot of new stuff into it. Do I know Joe Satriani? I don't. I don't know him personally. I met him one time as a kid, but no, I don't know him. What does my signature Morgan do that a Princeton doesn't? Well, it's got more headroom, even though it's actually the same wattage, but man, it's much louder. The cabinet is much larger and less boxy. It has a 12-inch speaker instead of a 10, so it has more bass as well. It has a 2-knob reverb circuit, so you can control the dwell of the reverb, which is great because it allows you to get more surfy or a little more plate-like and simple. And it has a boost built into it. So quite a number of things that you can't do on a Princeton. I think it's like taking the Princeton to its ultimate next stop of evolution, as my son would say in Pokemon parlance. Do I have a 335? I do. I have an old one that's been broken for a while, and the headstock's being repaired. And then I have my Josh Williams Mockingbird and my Collings, which are both 335 style guitars, plywood, and I love them. My favorite Gibson style guitar, without question. You just made your first guitar. Wow. I'm proud of you. You have a right to feel proud. That's awesome, man. One day that's on my list. I'd like to learn how to make an acoustic guitar. Do I like any Van Halen tunes from a rhythmic standpoint apart from Beautiful Girls? Oh my God, are you kidding? You know, of course, that one, of course, this one. I'm the One is my favorite of all time. Oh, it's ridiculous. But there's a lot that I like. Mike Bloomfield, Rory Gallagher. I like them both a lot. They're not like in my, closest to the vest group of guys, but obviously I've listened to them a lot. I mean, they're incredibly important in the history of what we do and all that. I was in the members chat. I was saying my favorite Rory Gallagher thing is Bullfrog Blues. I always loved that. And Bloomfield, man, it's hard to. I mean, he just really loved and respected blues, and he put his own twist on it. He wasn't ever like my favorite guy, but you can't not respect what he did. It was incredible stuff, and he did his homework too, which means a lot to me always. Would I ever do a metal or hard rock album or song? Yeah, I'd do a song. So Toast and I are recording a duet soon. It'll probably be as heavy as you've ever heard me go. We wrote it together. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Tips for developing pinky strength. In which pinky? Man, the best thing for pinky strength, obviously, is bending and not supporting it. So get your Albert King on. And don't put your finger behind it. Try to do it like this without using your middle finger. You can have it resting there, but don't really use the strength of it. Like, people ask me why my hands are so strong. Well, yeah, some of it is the strings, but I also practice that stuff. But the strings are a lot like a weighted bat in baseball. I built up the strength. Play some 2-5-1s. Like what? What do you want to hear? Like my favorite thing is using 2-5-1s just to get between chords. So, I like playing like going back from the 4. So that's but it could be like so that's B minor to E to A. But you could be here playing simple country stuff. Right? So you could be on the D and then go. That's a 2-5-1, right? Here's one that people don't think about a lot. You ever heard Albert King on a blues when it goes to 5? Like, play B over that E. That's a 2-5-1, right? He's replacing the 5 with a 2, and then resolving back to the 4 from there on that walk down. That's another way to approach a 2-5-1. Just velvet bulldozers right through it. What's my warm-up routine? Oh, man. This is going to sound terrible, but I don't really have a warm-up routine because I'm never not playing. And I think that's the biggest thing is I'm playing every day, a lot of the day. So I try not to cool down so I don't have to warm up. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it actually is the way that I feel, and I think it's what works for me. I have a warm-up routine for singing, like on gigs, but mostly that just involves warming up, with getting your throat activated, basically. Favorite budget fuzz, $200. Oh, without question, the Deep Trip BOG fuzz. If you want a more affordable fuzz in the Myriad, I think the Deep Trip is the best you can get. The BOG. That's a fantastic fuzz. Any issues with left-hand strings? No, knock on wood. I've had a lot of, success. How do you feel a group of very fast and intense notes? Put feeling behind them. How do you feel it? For me, fast things, I have to hear them. I want to be playing like until I hear so clear. Like that lick came because I heard it so clear in my head. I heard that so clear that it was like I held it back until it was necessary, the fast lick. Does that make sense? And then I think you do feel it more because it feels like it's right. It's not just for the sake of playing fast. First good jazz song, All of Me is a good one. All of me, why not take all of me? That's a good one. And then, like I said, Bloom Dito was always for me a great hit to learn. Someone said play it again. Here it is. I messed it up. Sorry. Gotta play it fast. There it is. That stuff is the best, man. Oh, Charlie Parker forever. Do I have to be intimately familiar with a chord progression before I can improvise over it? No, but I certainly at least have to know it. It can't be like a surprise. Excuse me. Yeah, so I have to at least know where it's going, but I don't necessarily have to have played it a million times. But I have to at least be familiar enough to know what's about to happen. Do I know Oscar Peterson? Of course. I mean, I don't know him personally. I actually got to see him play once before he passed away, which I'm forever grateful for that chance to see him play. Man, talk about greatest of all time. Holy cow. A better place to put the basic Chuck Berry, like instead of like right on the top. Man, a lot of times for me, Chuck Berry, a lot of that is triplets, right? So you don't have to play. So I like to turn it around like this. I like doing that. I mean, it's the same lick. But if you hammer it on, but bust around it. Stuff like that. How's the Abasi to play? Intimidating for me. Man, you put an extra string on my guitar and it's like all of a sudden I'm back in elementary school. I can't figure it out. Is this guitar lessons? I don't know what you mean. I'm just chatting. When I improvise with modes, do I think about the harmony of the mode? Yeah, I think about the most important intervals of the modes, and like I said, I mostly just tie each mode to a chord type, minor or major, so it frees me up to just kind of play, if a minor chord comes up, to play Dorian, if a major chord comes up, to play Lydian, and just kind of let things fall as they may. Best Fender tube amp under $1,000. Just go buy yourself a used Silverface somewhere. Can't beat it. How often do I change strings now that gigs are not a thing? You're darn right. And almost never. It's annoying. I need to be better about it, but it's like, what's the freaking point? Greetings from Austin. Yeah. What's up, Austin? Can I do one by Metallica? Maybe I could have when I was a kid, but I can't remember it now. For Whom the Bell Tolls was my favorite. Was it? Peter Green. What I love most about Peter Green is how much he wore his influences on his sleeves. It was like he loved B.B. King, and he wasn't afraid to tell you how much he loved B.B. King and to show you in his playing. And yet somehow it still came out sounding like Peter Green. And he wrote these great songs that, man, I just loved his reverence for the stuff before him and the ability to kind of move past that. That was something that was always inspiring to me about Peter Green's playing. When I record it for Norm, why don't I use the 2-inch machine? Because it's not 100%. So if you notice, here, everybody, check this out. So this is my control room that you're seeing right now, and you can see there's 2 tape machines happening. So this one here is the working tape machine, and this is the donor tape machine. But the working tape machine is still like 90% of the way there. I need one more visit for my guy, but the pandemic, he's not making house calls. But soon, that one will be 100% working, and then this one will disappear, and I'll have more room in my control room again. Hope that makes sense. Oh, dude, thank you so much for the super chat. That's incredibly nice of you. Do I miss having a whammy bar? Ooh. I like having it sometimes. I actually got a guitar with a Floyd Rose this week just because of all the Eddie thinking and listening I've been doing. I went and grabbed one, a cheap one, a Joe Satriani guitar, just for fun, and it was nice to have the bar. I still put it on the Strat plenty, but if you notice, yeah, most of the time I don't have it on there. I should put it on more often. I would use it if it was there. I just kind of forget about it, honestly. Favorite Buchananisms. Ooh. Yeah. So some of my favorite Roy stuff is the way he would rhythmically get into the pinch harmonic. So he would get sometimes he would only pinch harmonic those bends. And I like the way he made the pinch thing selective. It wasn't always just pinch thing. I took that from him. And of course the long tones are what you take the most. Like the way he bends that stuff long. Let me put a little more on it. And then he would get into that. And I like the way he played in this position a lot. You know, man, he was so good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he would hold a note with no vibrato, just. So good. And of course, with your amp turned all the way up and standing next to it, turned around backwards where you get that low end, just kind of, it'll grab a note. Yeah, you can get some special stuff. When I recorded Penance, I turned the amp all the way up like that. It was really cool. And we mic'd the back of the cabinet, too. Who's my favorite horn players? Ooh, well, obviously Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, Freddie Hubbard, Lee Morgan, Coltrane. Kenny Garrett is really important to me. I'm a massive Kenny Garrett fan because I saw him play quite a lot as a kid, and his records were big when I was a kid. And so he's one of my most favorite improvisers and musicians. But, I mean, the list could go on and on forever. Do I miss a Telly not having a humbucker? Do I miss? Well, it doesn't normally have a humbucker. In fact, I don't own any Tellys with a humbucker. So no, to me, a Telly should sound like a Telly. I like that. Now, I'm not against the crossover guitars, super guitars that do this and do that. But I'm more of a specialist. I like a guitar to sound like the guitar it's supposed to sound like, and I'll use a different guitar if I need a different sound. That's just me, though. Oh, yeah, Wayne Shorter. Love Wayne Shorter. One of my favorites is Fathead Newman with Ray Charles because his tone and his intent is playing magic. Lester Butler, I mean, come on. Skinner guys. I met some of those guys when I was a kid. I played with Leon Wilkerson, the bass player. I love Skinner. I was more of an Allman Brothers guy as a kid. Allman Brothers was like religion in Florida. Plus, I grew up with Derek. We were close friends, so I was around the Allman Brothers thing more often. But I certainly love Skinner. Tuesday's Gone is one of my favorites. Simple Man, one of my favorites. I like Steve Gaines a lot. Well, thank you for joining the Beginner Rulers. Billy Strings. It's I just kind of heard him for the first time, but I was really impressed. I'd like to dig into that further. Derek Truck's interview. I'm working on it, guys. I am working on it. He said he would do it. We will see. Ooh, yeah. Amos Garrett on Midnight at the Oasis is great. Maria Moldauer. How do I like John Mayer? Maybe a collab. Well, I'd have to know him to collab with him. I love John Mayer. Very talented guy, but I don't know John. That's the thing about a lot of these people. I would love to interview some other people, but everybody I've interviewed so far are people I know. So I'm kind of not reaching out and cold calling anyone yet. So we'll see. Can you see my telly a little closer? Sure. So this is my Chapin T-Bird. It's been my main guitar for years, but not for much longer. And I just love this guitar. And it's got titanium saddles. It's got a custom wound Chapin bridge pickup that's a flat pole. This is a Lawler pickup in the neck. It's beat to heck. Here you can see like the bare wood. It's blue from my blue jeans rubbing against it for 15 years. The wood is blue. It's just taking the dye from jeans over all the years. It's just a great guitar. It looked brand new when I got it, but it's just one very thin coat of nitro black finish with no undercoat. How high is the action? I like it medium. I don't like it too low. I want to feel it, but I also don't want to just kill myself because the strings are already heavy enough. So I like kind of just a normal action, if that makes sense. Is it broken in yet? Yes, it's definitely very broken in. Thank you for the super chat. Any jam bands like Phish that I dig? I actually dig Phish a little bit. I know that sounds weird, but it's because a lot of my friends in high school were Phish fans. So I remember hearing Phish in the car, like hanging out with my friends. Excuse me. And there was a song called Llama by Phish that I like. Llama to boot or something like that. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. But yep, Llama by Phish. Do I ever consider flipping the control plate? No, I actually like it this way better. I like the switch closest because it's the thing I use the most. I wasn't hotboxing, but my friends might have been. So I guess maybe I was getting hotboxed. I've actually never smoked a joint in my life. I'm really nerdy, and yeah, I mean, you guys can believe me or not, but I've actually never smoked a cigarette in my life, never smoked a joint in my life, never had a drink of alcohol in my entire life. I'm very boring. Oh, yeah. Wow, your first concert was Phish. That must have been cool. Hello in Nova Scotia. Thank you, guys. Wow, the questions are flying by fast now. I can't keep up. Do I plant my hand when I hybrid pick? Relatively. It's kind of just on the bridge. But no, I'm floating all the time now. I like to be relatively free. No, it's floating. Is this my studio? Yep, this is my studio. Sequential way to learn jazz. Modern, yeah. Man, Frank Vignola's stuff on TrueFire, I think, is very good sequentially for learning and starting to learn jazz. I would take a look at that. I've been impressed with his stuff. Being a TrueFire guy, I've been able to watch everybody's stuff, and I really like the way he teaches. Hello to you and your friend Anthony and Alex. Thank you guys for watching, man. I appreciate the support. I appreciate all you guys' support. I wanted to talk, that's right, I wanted to talk a little bit about the live stream concert that's coming up. So if you go to my community tab, there's a link, and I'll post the link more. It's on my Instagram. It's on everywhere. I'm doing a live stream concert, a ticketed event, first one of the pandemic, here from my studio with my band, Travis Carlton and Lamar Carter, a 2-hour concert on November 8th, Sunday, at noon, around this time, a little early in this. That way anybody in the world hopefully should be able to see it. And yeah, I'm excited about it. And then the other thing I want to talk about was how much fun we're having in the membership side of YouTube. So, man, it's just been a blast. Every video you've seen me posting over these past few weeks as the channel has grown has a members component that I post and only members can see it. And then the top tier members, the effing rulers, they're all in the Discord with me. I made a Discord server that links automatically to YouTube. And we're conversing over there, answering questions, posting videos, talking about gear. People are selling gear. It's sharing music. We're discovering new music. And it's freaking great, actually. I'm really having a blast. So I encourage you to sign up if you're not a member yet, because there's just more great stuff coming. But please at least subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. It actually helps a lot. You know, I'm new to this YouTube thing, so I'm still figuring it out. But it's growing quicker than I thought it was gonna. I don't know though what it in relative terms, if I'm growing fast or not, but it feels fast to me. Univibe, which one to get? Ooh. The Mojo Vibe was always my favorite by Bob Sweet. Rest in peace. He was a great friend. I like the Jam Retro Vibe. I like Jesse Davies Vibe, but I haven't really spent much time with it. Yeah, the Sir Henry I've heard is really great, but I haven't actually played one. Sophia told me to shut up. And she told me to shut up again. I don't know who you are, but isn't the point for me to talk, I guess? Or are you just telling me to play more? I don't still have my first Chapin. My friend has it. Do I enjoy John Mayer? Yeah, of course. You just discovered Iron Maiden at 61. That's ruling. Have I ever played with Johnny Highland? I haven't, no. Have I heard Frank Gambale play the blues? Sure. Oh, okay. Am I staying in California or moving to Nashville or Texas? I'm staying in California. I love California. I like it out here. And I like my house, my studio. My family likes it out here. We're entrenched, so I don't see moving away anytime soon, but I'd never say never, you know. Recommended guitars for under 4,000 Norwegian kroners. I do know how much that is, 400 US dollars. Man, I would probably buy something used. If I have a low budget, I normally try to get an American guitar that's used, like a Fender, something made in America by Fender, but used, so my money goes a little further. So that's probably what I do. Try to find like an American standard if you can, like used. Studio Vid with Norman Bonham. I actually haven't even watched that, so I'll have to check that out. Have I tried the Strymon Volante? Oh, it's on my bigger pedal board. Absolutely. If you see the one on the pedal show, the last one that Dan made for me, the Volante is on there, and that's my main studio board. I love the Volante. It's the only Strymon pedal I own, in fairness, but I think it's fantastic. But I was predisposed to love it because I love Echo Rex, so that's what it's based on. Jazz Masters, yay or nay? Yay! I had a vintage one, and I sold it when I was building the studio because I needed money, and it was about the most valuable guitar I owned at the time, and I regret selling it. I wish I could get it back. It was a 62 Sunburst slab board Jazzmaster. It was the best one I'd ever played, and I was an idiot to have sold it. What's the new guitar I hinted at? I can only hint at it, unfortunately, buddy. Because they want it to be a surprise, and it'll be announced in January. All I can say is I'm very proud of it, and yeah, I've got to stop talking about it or even mentioning it. What's my opinion on Steely Dan? I love Steely Dan. You know, great band, great tunes, great music, great musicians. Yes, Brad Carlton is a good teacher. You're right. What do I think about Novos? Novos are tremendous guitars. I think Dennis Fano is making the best bolt-on neck guitars in the world. at the moment, quite honestly. I've never played a guitar that Dennis and his team built that wasn't good. I haven't had there's never been a dud. Everyone I picked up has been great. And no, my signature guitar is not a Novo, but I love Dennis, and I play my Novo quite a bit here in the studio, and I think they're making really, really great guitars. He's hit on the formula that makes repeatable excellence, I think. String of a guitar with sevens. Well, I got one with nines on it now because of the Floyd Rose guitar I got. Yeah, offsets are fun, man, and they are very comfortable. I gotta hand it to them. Favorite Cornell Dupree? Oh, there's so much, but I mean, Memphis Solstice Stew. I mean, it's so good that. Someone said play Rainy Night in Georgia, like. Also my favorite Cornell. Don't get much better than that. So good. Sam and Dave Soothe Me tutorial. I might do that. Yeah. Do I know Warren Haynes? Yeah, I know Warren, but not very well. So again, that's one of the guys I wouldn't feel comfortable reaching out to do an interview yet because we're not like friends. But I have many friends who are better friends with him, so maybe down the line, you know. This is just the reverb from my amp, the JS12. Yeah, I'm trying to get Larry. We'll see if I can get Larry. Travis can't hook me up. I mean, I know Larry, you know. Hello, New Zealand. What's up, Dylan? What picks do I use? Gravity picks 1.1 millimeter, like a Fender Heavy. The way you do live with the Spud. Do a lesson on that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to do more lessons on some of my songs. I appreciate you asking. Robin, that's a possibility. You know, I'm not really that close. Oh, someone just asked me, did I ever play with Motel Mel? Absolutely. That's where I grew up. You know, one of the first jams I ever went to was at the Musicians Exchange at Fort Lauderdale, and Motel Mel and the Innkeepers were the house band. And I got up and played Messing with the Kid. Absolutely. Motel Mel and the Innkeepers. Jimmy Herring would be fun, but I don't really know Jimmy either. Do I like Hall & Oates? I do like Hall & Oates. It's not my favorite, but I like some of those songs. Thoughts on the Rollin' Jazz Chorus? Oh, not my favorite, I hate to say. What's my favorite Rhino Cat song? Funny. Oh, man. So you know what's funny about the Rhino Cats days is if you listen to those records, I mean, I wrote a lot of those songs. I can't even believe that I was writing songs at such a young age. It's ridiculous, but I can't listen to that stuff. Love Little Feat, Lowell George. I mean, the whole band, magical. You like the Blues Saraceno interview? Nice. Yeah, Blues is a great friend and obviously an incredible talent. Do I still play my real guitars Les Paul? All the time. I'm just not on the road. I'm not playing gigs, but yes, I play it all the time. It's my favorite Les Paul. How did I meet my lovely wife, Nikki? At a gig in Georgia, St. Simon's Island, Georgia. She came to a gig, and that's where we met. Play some fun Josh Smith shuffle. All right, I'll play a shuffle for you. Let's have some fun. Oh, man. If you guys weren't watching, I'd probably do that for 30 minutes. Nothing makes me feel better than just playing a freaking shuffle. Can I get Dwayne Allman with just hands? Ooh. Yeah, I mean, to me, humbuckers are really essential to that tone. So I don't know that I can get it with just my hands and this guitar, but maybe something like this. I'd probably go both pickups and roll off and play with my fingers, stuff like this. You know, that's as close as I can get on a telly. Yeah. Practice improvising for modes. Check out my video on tying modes to chords, but that's the way I use them. And then start superimposing them. Change which chord in the progression you view as the one, and then reshuffle the modes over the top. Who are my biggest influences from instruments other than guitar, other than Charlie Parker? Mostly vocal. Sam Cooke is a big one. A lot of my phrasing comes from listening to the way he sings. Ray Charles, Aretha, Bobby Bland, B.B. King singing. And then some organ players, Jimmy Smith, Jack McDuff, Chester Thompson from Tower of Power. Tower of Power is a big influence also, just in general. Yeah, James Brown stuff, the horn section, Maceo, a lot of that stuff. Do I like low, medium, or high output humbuckers? I like pretty medium, just kind of normal. Thoughts on Prince? Ooh, well, I mean, I'm an enormous Prince fan, like most of us. Um, I saw him play quite a bit live in my life, and made a lot of some shows were better than others, but the good ones make a big impression. And man, it's just a special talent. I wish he was still around. And obviously he was a great guitar player too, but it's not even always about that for me. He was just something special in general. Susan Tedeschi, the best singer live right now. She's great. I mean, but she's been great for a long time. She's really special. What's the best concert you've ever seen? Kenny Garrett with the band, with Tane Watts and Kenny Kirkland. Oh my God. And Nat Reeves. That was the best concert I've ever seen in my life. Ever played with Corey Wong? No. I don't know Corey actually. What DAW do I use? Pro Tools. How'd I get into doing that stuff? Necessity. First it was people wanted me to play guitar on sessions and they would send me stuff, so I had to figure out how to do just that. And then, I built the studio. I taught myself over the years how to run a session, Pro Tools, how to mic things up, how to get good sounds, how to do the whole process, because then I started producing records. But it was all driven by necessity. I had to. It was sink or swim, basically. You work with Tane? Wow, that's ruling. Ever tried Derek style stuff without the slide? Not really. No, I'll never be able to. I've known Derek for so long and heard him play that way for so long that I maybe as a kid consciously decided not to do anything like he did, because we were such friends and we played together. I can't understate how much we played together as kids, like a lot. So we would see each other all the time and play together, and so I was trying to sound different, I think, back then. How much you work on your voice? I work on it quite a bit because it's never come as easily as the guitar for me, and I want to get better all the time. So I'm trying to make sure all my singing is better on every record, and I'm more consistent live. I feel like I'm pretty consistent live. I try to become better at improv on the voice, like I am on the guitar, which is difficult because anytime I hear improv, it just comes out in my hands and doesn't necessarily come out in my voice. I tend to sing something the same way every night, and I'm trying to get past that. Oh, that's ruling. Branford and Tane for a month? That must have been incredible. What did I think of the G3? I think it's unbelievable all he's put in there. A lot of things that I've talked to him about over the years he put in there. I'm not saying he got them from me, but it was like he was reading my mind. So it was like, thank God, he crushed it. He put a lot of thought into that product. I mean, I've talked to him about it for a long time. I knew it was coming, and man, really ruling. I've never played with Jim Campolano, but I love his playing. How do I prevent injuries in my hand? I don't have a or like a way. I just I don't ever cool down. As I was saying earlier, I try to play every day. I think that takes care of a lot of the problems. If you just play every day, a lot of that stuff takes care of itself. I think, at least for me. Favorite instrument to play other than drums. I like playing organ, but drums is my favorite, other than guitar. I mean, problems with my hearing? No, no. Knock on wood. How about talking to Travis? Oh, I'm definitely going to do a Travis interview. Absolutely. And I'm going to do more videos about non-guitar stuff here and there in the studio. So, like, I'm going to do a video with Alan Hertz about how we mic up the drums, and he'll play drums, and I'll interview Alan a little bit because he's a genius on drums and on engineering and mixing. I want to do one with Travis. I definitely have lots of plans for that type of stuff. Favorite horn instrument? Man, I'm a saxophone guy. Not that I don't love trumpet, but I'm a saxophone guy. Ariel, I like to do that as well. uh, did I just? Oh, sorry. I like to do that. Inside jokes for the win. With whom would I like to play with? Ooh, I'd like to play with Larry Goldings and Bill Stort. Like a, let me just play one blues in B flat with organ trio with Larry Goldings and Bill Stort. I think I'd be a happy man to do that one time. I'd like to play with John Scofield one day. Hey, what's up, RJ? Hobbies other than playing music. Man, I'm a big sports junkie. All my teams are out right now. Yankees lost. Clippers embarrassed the heck out of me. Um, but I'll never give up on. My biggest hobby lately has been back to comic books and drawing. All during this pandemic, I've been teaching myself to draw again and just practicing drawing. And then my son and I have really dove back deep into comic book nerdery and reading and buying comic books and stuff. So right now, that's probably my biggest non-musical hobby. Is Kirk Fletcher my best buddy? Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's my brother, and yeah, that's my best friend. If Tommy Emmanuel swung at me, would I let him hit me? I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, maybe. Will it mean I'll get some of his superpowers if he connects? Because if that's the case, then yes, go ahead, knock me out. Do I collect vinyl? No. Uh, I would like to get into that though, but I know it's an expensive hobby, and you got to have a place to store it all. Do I have an English Premier League team? No, I'm not big into soccer or football, as you guys would call it. Uh, Not that I haven't enjoyed it on occasion when I've watched it. I think I would really like it if I went in person. I'd like to go to a game next time I'm in the UK or in Germany. I went to a parade once when Dortmund won the German Cup, I think, the BVB, the club. Do I have Eric Johnson stories? I do have a great Eric Johnson story. I've told it before, but I don't mind repeating it. When I was a kid, I was in Des Moines, Iowa, and I was on my first tour ever. I was 16 years old, maybe, or 15 even. And we were playing a club in Des Moines, and we had the next night off. And the hotel was nice, and they gave us a good rate. So we stayed in Des Moines. And Eric was playing in Des Moines that night at a different venue, obviously. And the bus pulled up, and he gets off the bus, and I see Eric Johnson. They're staying at our hotel. So I go up and introduce myself, and, that was that. But then, down the road, it's later in the day, it's laundry day on an off day on the road. So I go to the laundry room at the hotel, and Eric is doing laundry in the hotel. So then he invites us to the show because we start a real conversation. I go to sound check. I hang out at the show. Just, floating on clouds day. Just an amazing experience. I gave him the CD I had at the time. And then a few weeks later, I was still on the road, and he sent a letter to my house where my mom and sister were still back at home. And it was just a letter that said, Josh, it was a pleasure to meet you recently. I listened to your record and really enjoyed it. You have a really bright future ahead of you. Your friend, Eric Johnson. And then I would see him over, I was blown away, of course. I framed it. And I'd see him over the years. And then we didn't see each other for a long time. And then recently we reconnected. And for the first time ever, I played with him. This was back in January around the NAMM show. He invited me to sit in. And I played, Zap with him. And wow, you know, that's a moment I'll cherish the rest of my life. I got up and played Zap with Eric Johnson. Like, magical stuff, man. And spent that whole day hanging out with him and my good buddy James Santiago. That was a special day. One of the best days of this year, without question. Maybe the greatest day of this year, considering what happened after that. But, yeah. Any plans to work with Sadiq again? Yeah, it's certainly possible. We talk all the time. I mean, and I'll do random things here and there. Like he needed harmonica on a song recently. I had a guy come over and play here on it. And he sent me the track. Like, that's a lifetime friendship with Raphael. I'm an enormous fan, and I've done so much with him over the years. And so many of my closest friends come directly out of that band, especially Lamar and Calvin, Charles, BJ. I mean, these are my lifetime friends now. So Eric Gale's interview, yeah, that'll be coming for certain. The Nobles, I have one and I like it. Show us the sick Al Green shirt. Yeah, this is a good one. Let's get stock up in Redbubble. Redbubble.com. I need an endorsement. Or if you want to send me Redbubble gift cards, that's where I get all my shirts, and people ask me quite a lot about my shirts. That's where they come from. I do like to have cool music t-shirts. It's a crutch. Do I track through the Trident? Oh yeah, everything. All guitar and drums are mostly through the Trident. A lot of times bass is through Undertone preamp behind me. That's also normally my vocal go-to preamp. But yeah, mostly drums and guitar are almost always the Trident, which is what the Trident excels at. Drums and guitar, mid-range, man. Did Robin Ford inspire me? Absolutely. Hugely so. I can't even put it into words. Oh, I'm glad you like the Myriad. Thank you. Eric Gale's album soon. Yep. Joe and I produced it. Yes, that's correct. And it's special. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's almost done. So I would assume sometime in the first quarter of next year. Also, Joanna Connor's record that Joe and I produced is coming out at the beginning of January, I think. Yeah, Killer Mike Pre's in there. And EQs. Thoughts on Zappa and Neil Young? I like them both. I love Neil Young's writing. I actually really love his guitar playing too. I love that tweed explosion tone that he gets and just the rawness of what he does. But obviously, some of the greatest songs ever written. And Zappa, man, when I was a kid, I didn't get it, and I think a lot of kids are that way with Zappa. But as I grew up and started to hear more, I realized, number one, that he wasn't always just taking the piss out of everything, although he did that quite a bit. But what a serious musician he was, and like how hard some of that stuff was to make it even enjoyable, considering how cerebral a lot of it was, and also how avant-garde some of it was, to make it even enjoyable to listen to. What a skill. Holy cannoli, man. And getting to know Dweezil now a little bit has been a joy uh, to kind of see it second hand, I guess, and see Dweezil play those tunes. I've seen him do it a lot. Yeah. Walter Trout or Coco Montoya. Is it either or? I love them both. And they've both been incredibly kind to me in my lifetime. Coco I've known forever. Walter Trout was always so kind to me. On my first album as a kid, I did a cover of Life in the Jungle by Walter Trout, a tune that he wrote and he did with John Mayall. They both played with John Mayall, but yeah, they're both incredibly kind and incredibly talented. Where do I master my albums? Lately, I use Eric Boulanger at the bakery, Eric Boulanger or Boulanger at the bakery mastering here in LA. He's my favorite. And then Joanna's record, we just got the master this week, and Bob Ludwig mastered that because Joe mostly uses Bob Ludwig. Derek and the Dominoes or Cream? Ooh, that's really difficult. I'd go Cream for me personally. Any plans to record with Matt Schofield? Yep. Do I ever play acoustic? Yeah. Mostly when called for, like in the studio when I need to. I know it's kind of my Achilles heel, and I need to dedicate more time to it. I'd like to be able to pull off like a real acoustic show by myself. I think I could, but I'd like to make it good, actually. What's my go to lick? I don't know. I don't have just one. Do I practice electric unplugged all the time while I'm watching the games? Sports. All right, guys, I got to get moving because we're getting ready to start mixing another Andy Timmons song today. So we're halfway through the mixes on Andy Timmons' new album, which I produced and was recorded here. So that's my second half of today, is back into mixing mode. Would I come to Europe after Corona? Well, I sure hope so. I'm planning on being there in April and May, but I don't feel great about it. It was supposed to be this year's April and May. They moved it to next year's April and May, and we'll see what happens. I like Lightning Hopkins. Oh, my God. Is that even a question? Of course. Thank you guys so much, man. And remember, if you're not a ruler yet, please, if you feel so inclined, sign up or at least subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And be on the lookout. November 8th is the live stream concert. You can get tickets from my website or Instagram. It's on flat5.co, flatfiv.co. You can find tickets for the live stream. It's November 8th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully it works for everybody. And we'll do a 2-hour concert here, me, Travis, and Lamar. Thank you guys so much for the support. And I'm going to try to do these live streams once or twice a month in addition to all the other content. So thank you guys.